a selection of pages there from Night Owl and other CFAX teletext and BBS services from the past 40 years. All courtesy of Brian Martin. Thank you so much, Brian. As always, Night Owl hopefully is back from its downtime for maintenance the other week and can be found, the addresses for which are on screen right now. And do go and take a look at Night Owl. I haven't posted on it for a little while, but it is well worth a look. Hello there, a very good evening. You are watching youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep. We're live. It is just coming up to 1 minute past 8. Hi everybody, how are you doing? Good evening, 8 till 8 live here on youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep with me, Tom. We're back after our little break last week. Before I forget to say, we're going to have another break this week, well next week I should say, because it turns out I'm actually working on a Saturday of all things. So we won't be back next week, but we'll be back the week after. I put a jumper on, which I actually really regret doing that, so I might have to take that off, literally. I thought, I'll put a jumper on just, ready for going on air, forgetting that we've had a relatively nice day today. It's actually quite warm. I've actually got the window open behind me. But yeah, I'm suddenly feeling a bit warm. Anyway, how you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic week or weekend so far. Quite a bit to catch up on. And first of all, I want to say I have attempted, due to a comment I had which hasn't been published because it got caught in my main channel spam bin, I have attempted to rebalance the audio, which you might need to tell me live how that's going. So basically a comment was made that the music was very loud and I was very quiet. Which, okay, fair enough. Now, I do actually have headphones just plugged in over here, so I can listen back to myself. But normally when I'm doing a live stream, I can't hear myself, right? So I'm reliant on the meters that I see on OBS on the screen in front of me. And I've hopefully rebalanced it, but I am watching the microphone meter, and it does appear to be peaking out. But I did a couple of tests and records earlier this evening, so I could actually just record it as if it was a live stream, and then I could actually listen to it back in isolation, and it sounded all right. So hopefully you can all hear me all right, but every time I say anything too loud, I'm watching it and I just get this red bar appearing, which is what I've tried to avoid before. But for some reason the levels, I don't know if it's a YouTube thing, but the levels seem to be really, really low. Anyway, that said, we'll assume, as there's been no comments saying, Tom, you're bleaching out or whatever, or peaking out, I should say. That sounds all good. Seems fine. Oh, hello, Richard, by the way. We'll come to you shortly, sir. Yeah, so what's happened in the time since we've been off? Well, I was on a absolutely fantastic A-Bug Zoom. Was it Zoom? Yes, it was a Zoom meeting. I get confused between Zoom and Teams. So A-Bug, which is the kind of BBC Micro enthusiasts group. And they did they usually do a physical meet, but they do these live online ones, and I was actually invited to kind of pop onto that, and I actually really enjoyed it. Unfortunately I couldn't stay for the whole thing, but I actually did really, really enjoy it. And one of the first discussions they were talking about was the servicing of Cub CRT monitors, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I need to do. Replacing the dreaded gold cap that blows up and takes like half a ton of other components and sometimes shorts and blows a hole straight through your PCB. So I was like, yeah, fantastic meeting. Really, really enjoyed that. So we did that earlier in the week. Trying to think now. Right, over on YouTube, this came up the other day. So you might remember the Scientific Computer History, the Retro Computer Festival last November, Well, part 2 of that video has now gone live on the Centre for Computer History's YouTube channel. And it's got quite a lengthy interview with me in it. I'm just going to play you a little clip, right? And I'm not going to play the whole thing. Go to their channel. Go and support them. Go and like and support that channel. I'll dump the link to this in the chat very shortly. But let me just play this, okay? So I'm going to cut off a minute. Actually, there I am. Right. So let me just play a little bit of this video. It's going to be a little bit quiet because of the setup, but just yeah.
Hi, my name is Tom Williamson, and I'm probably better known as the face and the voice of the youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep Tech channel. And really excited this year to be here at the Cambridge Retro Computer Festival 2024 with my exhibit, which is called Going GUI, which is kind of the climax of a series we've been running on my YouTube channel, looking at alternative graphical user interfaces for 8 and 16-bit era machines. I'll just start here with this one with the, can I say famous flying window screensaver? So this is x86 PC with the fresh install of 3.1 from actual floppy disks.
Okay, I'm just going to drop that audio down so I can talk over the top of it. Yeah, so go and watch this video. Let me, before I talk any more about it, let's just very quickly, if I can, dump the link to that. I've had issues dumping the links to things actually, but let me just see if that works. So, oh yes, we might be okay today. Okay, there we go. Right, link is in the chat. So, yeah. So, do you know what? It's really strange because obviously I do a lot of video. I'm right here now live on YouTube, obviously. So I'm very used to looking at myself, hearing myself, editing myself, right? But when it came to doing, they asked me would I do a bit of a video. It is. I kind of went all like shy and nervous, and I was like, we had to do 2 takes because I got about a quarter way through the first take, and I was just like, can we do this again, please? And then chap that recorded it asked me, he said, how do you normally do YouTube videos? And I just looked at him and I went, badly. So I don't know what it is. It's like not having the editorial control, as weird as that sounds. But yeah, so I've actually been a bit reluctant to actually like listen to myself back or watch this. So because I'm sort of thinking, oh God, how awful. It's weird. Anyway, do go and check that out. We'll just cut back now. Hello, look at me. Right, yeah, so do go and check that out. So I just need to cut that. Yeah, I've been messing around with the audio, trying to get a balance of everything. So, and it's also stopping audio from like leaking out of places. Anyway, so that was that. So that's over on the Centre for Computer History's YouTube channel. I've now put a link into the chat. So if you haven't done, do go over there. Do give them a like and subscribe. There's part 1 and there's part 2, and I'm in part 2 if you're interested. We'll just say hello in the chat then. So hello to Martin, who's just joined us. Richard, who I've said hello to. The Imp67, hello. Brian, as always. Richard, we've already said hi. Is it Ab or Ababe? I'm never know I'm pronouncing that right. But hello, welcome back. And I'm just looking at the chat saying, wonder if we're going to get Gem working tonight. Ah, yes. So I kind of want to basically go from where we left off last time. Now you might remember last time I couldn't find, I was trying to find a blooming BNC connector, right? And I said, the minute we go off air and we finish for that evening, I will find the damn thing. And I kid you not, 10 minutes later, I found the damn thing. And I was just like, really? So what I'm hoping to do tonight is pretty much sort of carry on from where we left off in the last live stream or live edition of 8 till 8. You might notice there is this box behind me, which is sort of the carcass of a Hewlett-Packard PC that's about 20 odd years old. Yeah, so basically I've got my Bridge PC. This is, I think, the second computer I ever bought was this one from 2004, Windows XP, Pentium 4, and I have it back up and running, or I have it here on the bench. That's why we can't see the monitor or anything, because I've been using it to repair my broken gem discs. So last time I mentioned I'd managed to brick disc 2. I cut to the... Oh, by the way, we've got the weird purple lights again because I've got incandescent bulbs that basically filter on the cameras as purple. So anyway, right. So basically with gem, it's a terrible gem discs, but gem disc 1, gem disc 2. Okay, so disc 1 is in ADFS Acorn format. You boot it up on a BBC. It's meant to be a BBC Master 512. This is a 128 with the Raspberry Pi internal coprocessor that tricks it into thinking it's a 512. If it's a 512, it means it's got the Intel coprocessor and the extra RAM. So you boot Gem Disk 1 as ADFS, and we'll do that in a moment. And that then boots a soft load driver that switches you into DOS modes, and then every disk you boot after that is DOS. Gem Disk 2 in DOS format. Although actually not MS-DOS FAT format, it's in Acorn 800K format or something like that. This is the disk that actually has the graphical user interface, the Gem GUI on it. And this was the disk that I managed to break. Pleased to say that I have actually now fixed it, but all I've done is I've gone back onto this PC, which luckily still had all the Gem data on it from the first time I did it, which was in 2016 I made the discs originally. And I actually had the copy that I made up still on the hard disk, and I was able just to basically rewrite not only one disk, but I think I've got it here. One of these, I think it might be that one there. One of these is actually another copy, he says. Anyway, right, so do you know what? We could do that right now. But before we do that, as always, I better just say a huge thank you to a big blank screen. What's happened there? Okay, I was going to say a huge thank you to our members who back me in this channel. And oh dear, right, hang on. There's some members, but we're missing somebody. Okay, that hasn't quite worked. Anyway, right, I know what I've done there. Oops, right. Needless to say, huge thank you to everybody who does back me on Patreon and YouTube. I appreciate there may be some names missing on there. My apologies. We'll try and address that next time. I know I said that last time, but clearly that hasn't worked. Anyway, you can support me and this live stream over on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep, or alternatively right here on YouTube with YouTube channel members, starting from 99p all the way up to £2.99. Your support is always greatly appreciated, and thank you so much to many of you who are in the chat right now who do support me and back this channel. So huge thank you to everybody who does. We'll also say hello to TB Martin, who has also joined us. How are you? A little while since I've heard from you. Hope you're doing well, sir. Right, so hopefully let's see if we can boot the BBC up. That's a good sign. Okay, so just to explain the setup again, because I'll also want to do the video setup thing I wanted to talk about, which is why I needed the BNC, which I lost last time. So let's just go to overview. So it's just off camera. Okay, excuse my headphones, because I've been audio checking, trying to get the levels right. So there we go. So I've got one of these HD converter boxes. You've probably seen a lot of YouTubers have used these. So basically the SCART, so we're going RGB to SCART, and then we're going HDMI out. That's then going through the capture card, and then out the capture card it's going via a VGA adapter. So I've got VGA on the screen in front of me, but you're seeing the HDMI feed, and that's basically how it works. So if we go back to capture, there we are. Okay. Now, because this has the CoPro, if I hit break, it then loads the CoPro up. So it defaults to a tube interface 6502 second processor. We want to put it into DOS mode. To do that, we go FX, trying to remember my code, 151230, and there's a real lag on this, which is why it's not particularly good for games. 230, and then we select what coprocessor we want. In my case, I want Intel, which is 8. We now hit break again, and you can now see it's loaded as a 286 with it's a bit under 1 meg of RAM, 896k of RAM. We now need to switch from Acorn 1770 DFS, that's the disk filer system. We need to switch to ADFS. So to do that, I just cut back. So here on the keyboard, I go Control A and break. Let's just cut back so you can see what happens. That then puts us into Acorn ADFS mode. And then I take disk 1. We put disk 1 into the external floppy drive. And sometimes this might... There we go. Sometimes it throws a wobbly, sometimes like tonight it's gone straight through. And we're now going to load Digital Research DR-DOS or DOS+. So it's not MS-DOS, it's not PC-DOS, it's DR-DOS, but it's in that kind of x86 world of things. Also say hello to Paulio B, who's joined us. Good evening, how are you doing? Okay, so we're at the A prompt, and now we're in a PC-DOS environment. So a dir, obviously. There we go. Okay. So, take disk 1 out, disk 2, which I broke last time, goes in. Another directory. Okay. Now, last time when I went gem, this broke. Hopefully today, this is going to, or tonight rather, this is going to work. So I now go gem. I bet you it won't work on... Oh no, there we go. I was about to say, I bet you it won't work on the live stream. Excellent. Right, so that then loads us into... It's the high resolution mode for the BBC Micro. It's kind of equivalent to Hercules mode on what would have been true x86. It's not quite the resolution, but it's close. It's close enough that it works. One thing to bear in mind is Hercules applications or PC software that needs Hercules won't work on this system. This isn't the equivalent of or compatible with Hercules. Now, I have here, this is the mouse I've been using. So this is a Quest mouse. It's a well, I say mouse, it's actually a rollable, trackable. The AMX mice work, or the proper mouse that was the 512 Acorn mouse, which was a 2-button mouse, which I don't have, actually came with this. Obviously that works. These are all plugged into the user port. So we now go back. Now hopefully, there we go. And this is running, if I go to desktop info. So yeah, you can see here, so it's Gem Desktop 2, March 24th, 1986. This will run Gem 3 apparently, but I've not actually got that running yet. Now Gem, as you probably know, Gem started life as very much an Apple Mac looking operating system with a full desktop. It even had a trash can down here, and it had draggable, scalable windows. And Microsoft sued Digital Research over Gem. ironically, I think they went after the wrong people. Now, they could have gone after Windows, but basically, GEM had to launch a new version to change their operating system or GUI enough that it didn't conflict with the Macintosh. And what you got was GEM 2, which is what this is, and it has these two fixed windows. All the icons on the desktop have gone. You've now got two fixed windows. Got these little icons. So that goes back to root directory. That expands into one window space. And we go back to GEM apps. So you double click to open things. We've got paint and write. And then we have a disk drives window. And again, these are sort of fixed. They don't move. They don't overlap. And if I, for example, double clicked, I've only got one drive on the machine. So A drive, and that just gives you the contents of A drive. Like so. We could try GEM Paint should work. Yeah. So this, I think, does give you... It's a bit slow, but it does give you then, inside the Paint application, does actually have... If I could do it. Oh, it's slow. Come on. There we go. So it does actually do click and draggable windows within the Paint application, but there's no icons obviously around it. But it's quite impressive for this running. I say running on a BBC Micro. Yes and no. It would be using, in the proper machine, it would be using the co-processor board for the so it basically has an entire IBM compatible PC inside it, and it just switches out and uses that. In this case, we just replaced that with the PyTube Direct interface. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Does it have the tiger picture? Sorry, this is just in the chat from. You're gonna have to tell me: is it Ababe or Abab? I want to get this right. As everyone knows, I'm awful with everyone's name. I don't try to be. Does it have that tiger picture? It does. I'm just trying to remember if it's on this disc. I have brought up that tiger picture before, and I'm just trying to remember where it is. That's slow. Come on. One thing I will say is it's running just off disk. It's very slow. Is that locked up? Have we done a thing to break it? It's not looking promising. I think we've done a thing. I think we've broken it. Yeah, it does still crash. But yes, that tiger picture. Now, the reason what I'm trying to think is I can't remember if it's actually on the disc 2 or if it's on one of the other discs. Which do I have all the discs? I do actually. Let me just cut back a minute. So I do have. Are they in here? Are they in the other one? I think they're in the other one. I do have GEM disc 3 and 4, and basically it was messing around with disc 4 that broke disc 2. Long story, but I'm just pleased we're back, even though I think we have actually crashed everybody. So we hit break, and we could just go back, put disc 1 back in, we can load back in. Now if you get the prompt, you can just call DOS boot. I think we'll do a complete reset. Right. You should be able to call DOS boot and it will go back in. If it starts messing about, just control break. Make sure you're in the right CoPro mode. We'll just come straight back in again. as annoying as that is. But yes, the tiger picture is there. I know which picture you mean. I'm just trying to think what I've done with my other discs. But I could go on. Do you know? Well, have I got time to go rummage around for it? Maybe I do. The picture is there because I bought it up before. Just trying to give me a minute. I promise you, it's not one of those where I'm just going to rummage around again because I know we've done far too much of that of late. Just seeing what discs I've got where. Because really with Gem, you only need disc 1 and 2 for it to actually do anything. The others had like extra utilities and stuff, which are, how can I put this less than desirable, if you know what I mean? I don't know what we did with the discs. I said it was messing around with the disc 4 that broke everything last time, so I was just a bit hesitant to risk discs. Not quite. Anyway, right. So we've gotten that back. So let's swap over discs. Put us back into Gem. One of the questions actually that does come up quite a bit about this is, could this run Windows? And I thought that would be pretty cool if it could actually run Windows. So the short answer is Windows 1 and maybe 2, possibly, because those didn't actually need MS-DOS to run. I think they could actually run in DR-DOS. It would only be able to run in CGA mode, so you wouldn't get this high resolution mode that we're in for Gem. It might work. I haven't tried it, but the reason I haven't tried it is there's one major issue, which is the mouse driver. So Windows used its own mouse driver, whereas Gem here is using a modified mouse driver. So it's a mouse. It's mouse.com. I think it's mouse.com. I think is the driver, which has been modified to, instead of looking for a serial or like a PS2 port, it's actually looking at the BBC Micro's hardware. So it's looking at the user port. Now, if you had an operating system that you could just replace the .com file with the one, I do have the .com file, that would actually work. But unfortunately, Windows, as I said, if it uses its own bespoke drivers, it doesn't work. So even if you could get it to boot, you wouldn't have any mouse control. So it's still not impossible, but I haven't tried it yet. I don't think we could get 3 or 3.1, probably definitely wouldn't run, because that needs a hard drive installation to work. And I haven't quite got hard drives sorted out just yet. One thing I will just quick, I've shown it before, it's my go-to. It's the only game I've got running at the moment that actually works, because a lot of the PC software that should work doesn't. So this is the HeliSim game. Take disc out. So nice thing is, if you've got, it's a Sierra HeliSim, so if you've got some PC games on, now this is MS-DOS FAT, FAT format, 700, what's the FAT format discs? 720k, isn't it? Double densities. By the way, it's only double density floppies that work. So you need either the 5 1/4 inch. If you're using, like I am, the 3.5 inch discs, which are these, they need to be the double densities. So it's the ones just with the hole on one side, not high densities, like this one, which is a HD disc. Now what you can do is you can just put a bit of tape over, and it does trick it into thinking they're double densities, and I have done that, and it does work as long as you haven't got anything particularly important on them. But where possible, I've tried to use recycled double densities. Anyway, right. So if I now go A, there we go. by the way, this is the mouse driver. So this mouse.com driver, that's the one that you could actually put into a program, or put it into the file directory of a program, and it would actually replace the IBM mouse driver that it's expecting, and then it would work, in theory. I've not tried it, to be honest with you, but let's go back to HeliSim. So there's the .exe. Open application. So we'll go yes. And this actually does work quite well. I've shown it about 1 billion times already, because it's the only thing I've actually got at the moment. It seems to work okay. That's kind of remotely cool to look at. So if I now go escape mode, I'll just put it in demo mode. Again, apologies if you've already seen this 1 million times. And that runs in 286 mode. That actually runs okay if you can get across the CGA colour palette, which the BBC Micro is actually perfectly capable of running. So CGA resolution and CGA graphics, like them or loathe them, are completely possible on this system. So yeah, this is obviously one of the things I'm hoping to show this year. And by the way, that brings me on to show dates just quickly while we're talking about it. So I'm hoping that this machine will be out at 2 shows this year. So I'm going to be at the National Museum of Computing for the Econet LAN party. That's Saturday the 7th, Sunday the 8th of June 2025. National Museum of Computing, Bletchley Park, Milton Keynes. Tickets for that haven't gone on sale as yet. But obviously when they do, I'll let you know. I'm going to be there both days this year, so looking forward to it. And then Cambridge Retro Fest, or the Cambridge Retro Computer Festival, which is on Saturday the 15th and Sunday the 16th of November 2025. That's down in Cambridge, Centre for Computing History. Now, I've bit of update from them. They've decided to go with a theme for this year, which is gaming. Which luckily doesn't really derail what I was going to do, because I'm presenting the Rotten Acorns series, as you probably know, this year. This is our theme project for this year, hence why we're currently doing all these BBC Masters. So let me just click back to where are we? There we go. Right. So basically it's games. Well, this is a game, so it doesn't exactly derail anything I'm doing. But yeah, so those are the 2 major shows I'm planning on doing this year. There is something happening in Swindon in June, but I don't think I'm going to be at that one, unfortunately. But if I get more information on it, I'll let you know. But yeah, so this is HeliSim, which runs all right. What's quite nice though is if we quit back out, so I'll just go quit. Watch this. It knows, instead of going back to DOS, because you can boot this straight from DOS, you don't need GEM. It actually knows it was in GEM, and it goes back into GEM, and it now wants the GEM disk because it needs to load GEM desktop back in. So we flip the disk back over. Remember, no hard drive. Come on. Ta-da! There we go. Just on the quick point of, is the Tiger thing is on the other disk. I'm sure it's on the other disk, but I'll just have a quick look. No, it's on the other disc. My disc 3's gone walkies, but it's not a biggie. Yeah, so oh, by the way, the scroll bars and stuff will work as well. It's actually, yeah, it's quite fast and responsive when you think about it. always been quite impressed with it. It's quite a fun thing to, play with. So, yeah. Just looking in the chat here, we've got Paul, Face for Radio. Hi from Caroline and Coco. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. We're just looking at Gem. You may have figured that. But seriously, you're most welcome. Thanks so much for popping by and saying hi. Yeah, okay. So I am just pleased that I've got this running. And Abab there's just saying fond memories of Gem. Yeah, I know it is. I do have it. I honestly have it, and it's on the picture disc, and I don't know where the picture disc is, because is it those last ditch? Is it those two there? Blooming heck it is. There you are. I found them. I think it's free. Do you know what? While we're here, shall we have a quick look? We've got time, everyone, haven't we? Let's have a quick look. Because it's bugging me now. Images. Owl, it is. It's one of these. I'm sure it's one of these. Let's just go full screen. Tiger. There it is. It is there, right. Right, this is where we all have to do a bit of juggling and thinking now. Okay, so... yeah, let's not try crashing everything again. So, let's think about this. We take that disc out. We put 2 back in. We then back up. Gem. I'm trying to think this for right. Gem apps. This might not work. We might crash again on this because Gem is meant to run on 2 drives and I've only got 1. So this might not work. In fact, I've got a horrible feeling it won't. But let's just try this. I think from memory I got this to work on my dual drive, and I had a Gem disc formatted. I had a dual 3.5 and 5.25 inch drive in a double drive, and I could run paint on the 5.25, and I actually had the Tiger image and the other stuff loaded on the 5.25. So yeah, so 3.5, 5.25 inch discs. Right. I don't think this is going to work, but we'll give it a shot. So if I take this disc out, I put disc 3 back in, open, no, so far that doesn't work, so hang on a minute. Graphical user interfaces without hard drives. Horrible. Right, this is where we crashed last time. And we crashed again. This doesn't work because it needs 2 disk drives. Oh, do you know why it's crashing? I've just realised. You see where it says directory B, images? It's looking for another floppy drive because Gem really needs to run with 2 floppy drives. That's why it's crashing. Oh, right. How annoying. So, okay, that's why. Yeah, if you try and double click the B drive, it crashes. So that's just on the BBC Micro build, I must stress. That's not, if you were running this on proper x86 PC or something, you'd be fine. If you actually had a hard disk, you'd be fine. But that's why we're locked up. Anyway, there we are. So don't think I'm going to be able to physically show you that image because I can't load the paint program and load the file off another directory disk on a single drive. It doesn't like it. Oh, can you believe it? Don't worry about it, mate. Well, that's all right. I tried. Look, at least I tried. Yeah, we'll dedicate the whole evening to getting the damn Tiger image to load. Right, anyway, there we go. Oh, there we are. That's interesting, actually. I don't know, does it look better? So that's the 16:9 box ratio that's meant to be presenting, and that's if it's stretched to 16:9. I always thought Hercules style graphics, high resolution graphics, looked a little bit better in a widescreen mode, ironically, rather than this sort of slightly squashed 4:3. But anyway, that's just personal taste. Right, there we go. So we've had to crash out of that because we broke Gem. But that's my Gem story for you. Very pleased to say we are actually now back up and running, but I do need a slightly better solution. Right, which brings me on to a couple of other things, actually. So it's mail time. And, well, this I've had for a little while, but just because thinking about possible hard disk solutions, I've got this box here, and I'm just going to open it up and show you what's actually inside. So I have a generic power brick, but I also have one of these. And this is a Retro Clinic data center. These actually aren't made anymore. And what they are is they're either a compact flash or USB data solution for a BBC Micro that sits on the 1 megahertz bus. So it actually, these are meant to have a 45 pin ribbon that runs out the back. That's actually the slot. You just see that? There's a slot there. Inside is meant to be a ribbon that runs through and it goes under the machine. It connects adjacent to the floppy drive, not in the floppy drive, but adjacent to it. And this unit is meant to act like a hard drive for the BBC Micro. Now, this was given to me by a Patreon backer. Was it Eric? I want to say Eric Snubs, I think it was. He's fortunately no longer backing me, but that's fair enough. But he donated this to me along with the Risk PC, the one that is completely rotted and blown apart. He gave me that, and he also gave me this. This has also been in, I think, outside at some point. It's never been used, I don't think. It's still got the plastic on, but it was in an environment that wasn't the best for it. Luckily, this was okay. The manuals, however, and just try and remember what I did with the manuals. They were around earlier and I put them somewhere. The manuals, however, did have some water damage. So, and I've put them somewhere very safe, which isn't in the box, which is clever. I had them earlier. But anyway, yeah. So, hopefully this will be okay. I do have the EEPROMs that are needed for the drivers, and I have a micro SD card that, although isn't compatible, does have all the disk software and all the images and things. And I'm just looking at Brian saying, I paid $300 for mine. You did very well getting it for free. I know. I got it for free, which is very generous. I got a few other things for free. And I said I got this Risk PC that had blown itself apart, but this was also part of that, and I've had this in a box. I think it's fine. I have been inside. It is fine. What I don't have at the moment is the correct ribbon lead, because all the ribbon leads I've got are either tied up in discs or they're the ones that have got the twist in that you're not meant to have. I need a straight 34 pin ribbon, which isn't a problem to get hold of. I just need to order one. So if I get that up and running, then I'm told they don't work with Gem because of the file format, but I'd like to at least have a try just to see if we could use it as another alternative to floppy disk. The difference with this is you can have larger disk images than what you're limited to with the other solutions. So the Gocart, for example, you can only have, as far as I'm aware, although I'm probably going to be corrected in a minute, I believe you can only have the 200k disk images, unless someone's done something with the firmware on that, which I don't know about. And also the what's the SD interfaces called? I forget. The SD card interfaces that slot into the user port under the machine. Those also only support the 200k floppies. And also the problem with that is that you then can't use the mouse, because the mouse also needs the user port. So hopefully this might be quite a good solution. So we need to get up and running. I do have the manual and documentation as well. I said I've just put it to one side somewhere in a very safe place. I don't know what I did with it, but I did have it earlier. But I said it was slightly water damaged, which is why I was a little nervous about if this had been water damaged. Oh, I beg your pardon, they're down here. They're down here. Hang on. Okay, so this is the manual. We can see here, this is the sort of the water damage on the. It's minor, but you can tell this has been exposed outside. But this is actually the manual for it, which is okay. I mean, I've let this stuff dry out. Also, in that same packet was the RISC PC user's guide for the machine that blew up. And also that machine, or I don't know if I can't remember if it's inside or in a separate box, but there's also given a DOS card, and I have all the DOS 6.3 boot discs, which I've not tested. Again, it was all, I think, was in a slightly damp environment. So there's a MS-DOS user's manual, and then you've got the RISC PC manual as well. Which actually, I beg your pardon, this one is actually for the 486 PC card. So I've not tested the card because at the moment I actually don't have a RISC PC that works in order to test any of the CoPros with. Again, something I'm hopefully going to address. But yeah, so this was a few bits I had, which hopefully we can get back up and working at some point. So that was item number 1. Item number 2, which is here. Now, hang on, let me put that away. This came to me the other week, in the week that we were off, and very kindly, courtesy of Richard Webb, who is there in the chat right now. This was a few bits that was very kindly sent to me from Richard. And I thought, let's do a little unboxing here live. So again, Richard, as I've said all along, thank you so much for sending me these bits. First of all, look at this. A tiny miniature printed BBC Micro model bib. That is absolutely adorable. Look at that. That is fantastic. I'm trying to think of a place we can put that. It needs to sit somewhere, doesn't it? It's really, really nice. I know you can get the free downloads for those, but look at that. And the colour is actually not bad at all. It's quite a good match. So that's adorable. Thank you so much for that. I'm trying to think now, where am I gonna put that? I don't know. It can't really sit there because this won't be here hopefully next time, but I could sort of sit it here on my 3D printer, sort of just, I don't know, we could go, I don't know. I'm trying to think, I don't know where we're going to put that without it falling over, but I tell you what, I'm gonna put it there for the minute. Okay, so thank you for that. Right, now the other bits in here. Richard's actually sent me a battery backup unit. You know, we have problems with the battery backup in these Master 512s, or 128, sorry. He's actually sent me a new custom backup unit, single battery, AA size, lithium battery, new lithium battery. We've got, to stop it recharging, we've got the resistor and the diode in circuit, which you need, as a much better solution to the AAA pack thing I was doing. So huge thank you for that. We've also got, I'm doing some 3D printing, Richard, I'm guessing. We have some cover plates for what is colloquially nicknamed the ashtray, which is on the Model B, not so much on the Masters, but on the Model Bs. There is an external EEPROM socket that's not always populated that sits about here in the keyboard. And I know during my time at school, many bored kids would take a biro or whatever and start ramming it to sort of punch straight through the plastic. This is like a sort of a very thin plastic bezel, and they'd pop the sort of the pre-cut area out. So a lot of the machines, you'll notice this if you look at the units, unless I put all the nice ones on now. If you look at the museums, especially at Bletchley Park, where they have sort of they sometimes have some tired looking beams on in service for their classroom, you'll notice the ashtrays have been popped out. So these are the actual 3D print covers that you can sit back in to neaten the hole back up. You bought 2 of those, which is fantastic, so thank you for that. I actually don't have any. All mine, I don't have a Model B I can grab, unfortunately, but all mine actually have the ashtrays intact. And I actually use super glue just on the underside of the case to like reinforce the ashtray to stop it being punched through if it has ever happened at a show. Happy to say it hasn't happened. So anyway, that's that. We've then got right. By the way, the packaging on this is superb. Let's get this out. Look at this. First of all, right, that's not a block of foam this is in. That's a custom 3D printed chip holder or securer or whatever for transit. That is absolutely superb. Oh, Richard, seriously, this is so generous of you. So what we actually have here is a brand new EEPROM, multi-standard, multi-OS custom EEPROM for, I'm assuming this is mainly for the master systems, to replace the actual single EEPROM inside here that runs the OS, etc. And it takes out some of the programs that you don't really need and replaces them with ROMs or programs that are much more useful. So I refer to things like I've gone blank, like Terminal and not ADFS, the user one, get it right. The EEPROM that's required for additional drivers for things like the SD card interfaces, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've completely butchered that, but I know what I mean. Yeah, look in the chat. Richard knows what's on it. But yeah, I know what I meant. Anyway, the point is, so it's master only, by the way. Thank you for just clarifying that. So you've got OS 1.2, OS 2, MOS 3.20, MOS 50. Okay, so you've actually got multiple versions of the operating system with various selections and things preloaded, which means you don't actually need this and then all the other sort of additional support chips or ICs that you'd normally have to have. It takes out things like view sheet as I believe it is. They're still there on the original version 1 or 1.2 or something, I'm assuming, but you can flip through. You do that mechanically through this pot or rotary switch, which you actually connect to the EEPROM. So I'm assuming that way around in there. So you plug in, and then this actually hangs a little gap in the back of the machine. Mine's actually occupied. I've got that custom switch in, which is here. So mine's actually occupied on this particular unit, but I don't think I'm going to install it in this one. I'm going to put these in the other one, which we started with. So here we are. Rich has given me the information, which I couldn't remember. So it also includes the Ethernet ROM, yes. MMFS SD card ROM. That's what I was trying to think of. Yes. So basically the useful things, which are extremely useful. So this basically goes on the back, and then there's actually a little like adhesive sticker or something here. There we go. And you actually stick that on the back, and then you can actually select from the OS, which OS you're going to use. Sorry for the noise outside. I'm so warm this evening. I've actually got a window open, so that's just some people passing by outside. Richard, this is, beyond generous. So thank you so much. I did ask Richard originally in the messaging we were doing. I said, do you have like a shop or anything that you actually sell this stuff from? And the answer was no. But apparently you do offer them through the Stardot forums, which I probably should plug a lot more than I do. So what's the address for Stardot? I forget now. I just always Google it, and I've got it in my bookmarks. But you Google Stardot. It's the Acorn forums, and Richard. Well, I think a lot of us are actually members on there, but Richard is a member on there, and actually offers them for sale through the forums. So again, all I can say is thank you so much, Richard. These are absolutely awesome. The quality is superb, and I love that. You could have just sent a block of foam, but you didn't. You 3D printed something to sit the ice. That's fantastic. So yeah. So what I'd like to do in sort of the second part of this evening is we need to swap masters over, because this isn't the master I want to install this in. I want to go back to our other machine, and we could actually have a look at putting this stuff in live and seeing what happens, he says. So that's what I think we're going to do next, which means, everybody, we've been going for just about an hour, which means you know what's coming up. We're going to have a small tea break because I want a cup of tea. I'll take this opportunity to swap the machines over, and then we'll look at installing and getting the second of the masters up and running, thanks to these generous bits from Richard. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So I'm going to swap the machines over, take a tea break. We'll be right back. I'm going to leave you with some more pages from Night Owl BBS, and we'll be back in hopefully under 10 minutes time. And we're back. Hello everybody, thanks so much for sticking around. I'm assuming, oh yeah, we're still there. Good. Right, sorry about that. Cup of tea in hand. So, we've now swapped machines. This is, do you know, I was just thinking actually, with the BBC Masters, I've actually never, I've never bought any of them. I've been given all the machines. So this was given to me by a member of the Mug Midland user group, Acorn Group, who gave me this and the original RISC PC, the one that's now unfortunately failed. I actually had these given to me. So this was my RISC, or sorry, my original BBC Master a few years ago. And this is the one that has featured on most of the channel content. So this is the one that has the video NULA card fitted. It did have the coprocessor fitted, but we've taken the coprocessor out. We put it in the other machine. And it's also the one that has been to Bletchley Park. It went 2 years ago. Actually, no, tell a lie. It's been a couple of times to Bletchley Park. And it went 2 years ago. I think it was the last time it went. And it joined the Ethernet LAN party with the Ethernet card fitted. And I did have the card. Actually, I couldn't find the card originally. And I found it. And I think it's in one of the boxes down here. So let's just have a quick look just under the desk. Ah yes, here we are. And here is the actual Ethernet card, as well as all the bits we were trying to get sorted into this machine. So the Ethernet card actually fits into here. Can't remember why I took it out, but I did take it out for a reason. So this power supply has also had the what you call it, that's a clever word. I'll start again. This has also had the reefer capacitors for the line filtering capacitors changed out, swapped, so it won't blow up. It does need an entire recap of the power supply really, but that's for another day. So fundamentally this machine does work. We can just test it does work, as in it will boot. It's electrically fine. Let's just plug back in. Plug into the mains over here. That transformer is getting very hot for the adapter. Right. Interesting. Doesn't make a sound because I haven't plugged the speaker in. That's why. But it does actually work. But that is as far as you get. I can't remember how to do this now. How do you visual tell me in a minute? Because I've forgotten. Shift break. Anyway, doesn't matter. Basically, there's no CMOS backup in this, and it kept failing. And the reason it kept failing is that it's my dodgy soldering on it originally that made it not work. So we've got a couple of EPROMs on here. We've got the NULA or NULA EPROM, which is to do with the card. This card takes the original ULA. It's developed by Rob Coleman. I did a series on this, and again, the card was sent to me for free as well, which is really generous. I desoldered the original ULA in this one, which is, there's nothing socketed. It's all on the main PCB, so you have to dig the board out, desolder it off the PCB. And I fitted a NULA card, and this basically expands the BBC Micro's colour and graphics capabilities threefold. Probably at some point I'll need to either get a second coprocessor or fit another copro card inside. So I have two with copros in, because that would kind of make sense. It's not too expensive. Oop, I knew that was going to happen. Sorry. That's just my very nice. It's given to me by the Radio Club, Salopam's Radio Society, a little while ago. It's that's my ham call sign. So I've never actually done anything with it, but I do have a radio operator's license for I say shortwave, but for amateur band radio. So that's actually my station call sign, M6 IDT. Anyway, that's what that is. So, in case anyone is interested, but I've never been on the air with M6IDT, so you won't find me there. And anyone claiming to be me isn't me. Right. So that's that. So what we can do is I've got the ANFS ROM, which is needed for the filing system for Ethernet. We should be able to take that out. This is the main operating system, EEPROM, and we should be able to take that out as well. Now, I don't have a nice fancy chip puller, so I'm going to try and find the less lethal, least offensive flathead screwdriver I can find, whilst being careful not to put these too near all the floppy disks that are now around the place, because these are magnetic, and it probably doesn't take a genius to figure out that magnetic screwdrivers near floppy disks is probably a bad idea. So, oh yeah, this is coming out very easily. There we go. So that's one out. I always love to say with people, especially the slightly younger, newer generation, although I'm not that old, I'm not 40 yet, but for the younger generation, when you explain about how to install drivers in a BBC Micro, you do it with a screwdriver. And they go, what? So, no, if you want to install new drivers, I'm going to take the NULA or NULA ROM out at the moment as well. And just double checking I've actually powered off, because I'd hate to pull the ROMs out with the machine live. And I will take the operating system. That's going to be a bit of a pain to come out. Come on. Just carefully. I need to get a chip puller, really. I don't want to bend the pins up. Come on. Oh. Sorry, my bad. I've just hit the keyboard by accident. Sorry. It's all on hotkeys on here, and I've just hit my keyboard. So right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Blimey, that was in there. Now, if I was Adrian Black over at Adrian's Digital Basement, I'd be now pouring deoxit in all this. I don't have any deoxit. I don't even know if you can get deoxit in this country. And if you can, I hate to think what the price of it would be. I'm just reading. So, yeah, this is nice when I'm doing this live, is Richard can sort of tell me what I'm doing whilst holding his head in his hands going, Tom, what are you doing? Don't do that. Just here in the chat, but I know most of you can actually see the chat, but he's saying, remember, you'll be able to change the top jumper link back to redeem the SWAM 2. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, remind me about that. Yeah. So basically, we talked about this last time. Basically, you can soft load into EEPROMs. But you can either have physical ROM, or you can soft load into EEPROM space. So you can actually load ROMs from disk or software. And yeah, just coming in now. So 18, 19 over to the right pins. So yeah, so 19 is there, 18 is down here. So it's these two here. And I would see if, would you want to, so we can zoom in? Sorry, left. No, I know what you mean. It's okay. Don't worry. I know what you mean. I'm just going to see, just excuse me a minute while I try and zoom in a bit. I don't know if this is going to work, but you're going to get a slightly weird angle. But okay, there we are. So we can keep that in focus just for a few seconds. There we are. That'll do. Right. So what we're referring to, if you can excuse the slightly skewy angle, what we're referring to is link 19 here, and then link 18, which is down here. And yeah, you're saying, so we can go, you're confusing me now. Are we going left to right or right to left? Over to the right pins. We're going to the left side. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So 19 was out of socket, was out of thing anyway. Really? Yeah, so we can take the other one. There we go. Okay, So we have a machine with basically the operating system is out. What's on the left side? Yeah, that's fine. Right, they've gone on the left side. Okay, yeah. So the operating system is out. The operating system also contains the disk filing systems for both DFS and ADFS. That's now out. And it also has some additional software, the view and view sheet software that we basically no one actually uses now. If you use it, I'd be amazed. If you tell me in the chat, or hopefully the comments will be enabled for this video. So if you do use it, I'll be astounded. But I don't think anyone actually does. This speaker is dusty as well. That is clean. Anyway, and we've also taken out the separate ANFS filing IC. That's normally used in conjunction with the EEPROM. Let's get that on the clock. There we are. The Acorn Ethernet EEPROM Ethernet module, which I have one here. Okay, so I do need to do a better fit. If I just drag the machine over, you probably can't really see this, unfortunately. We'll just tilt up a little bit. Oh, right, there we are. So just above my little live graphic, there's a little piece of plastic where there's a cutout, and then there's the plastic, which basically covers over. And I think that pops out, and that's probably the best place to actually mount the little potentiometer pot on the back for the switch. But just for the minute, we'll test to see how this works. So let's get this right. So it should be, I would say notch to notch, but they're not notched, are they? But we're obviously going to go that way. So we're going to fit this stack as is. Being careful not to bend the pins. Sorry, I'm just trying to look if I can see the other side before I push down and make sure I'm not bending it. Yeah, sorry, my head getting in the way, but I just want to make sure that we're actually in okay. Okay, yeah. So that's the new thing in. And I'm going to put the... I'm assuming we go that way, do we? I'm guessing, with the sort of crimps facing up. Then obviously we've got our pot that I don't know what where it is at the minute. But we can find that out in a moment. So, okay. Let's just pop these. I'm just going to take these out the way a minute. Just pop them up here. Okay. And then we've now got this new battery unit, which I think goes ground. Well, you can see which way it goes around. So it's a 3-pin plug. One of them isn't populated, so I think it's ground to top, and that goes in like that. Oh, and there's even a little piece of adhesive on the back. If I get it the wrong way around, it won't match stick up enough and more. Okay, that's fine. There we go. And now I can put my battery sort of down here, just out the way. Here we go. Final check. Think we're okay. Looking okay. Right. Very exciting. So let's go back to capture. Let's put some power on. Let's just see what happens. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, wrong one. Let me just make sure I've got that in. Well, it did something. This socket's causing me problems. Let's try that again. Right. Okay. CMOS reset. Oh yeah, okay, right. I really need to put the okay. Just bear with me a minute. Power back up. Ah, there we go. I think I had it the wrong way. Ah, look at that. Right. I might have had to switch the wrong way around. Let me just check. Hold, oh no, yes, I forgot that. Power off. Holding R. Reset. Break. There we go. Help. Look at that. Ah, look at that. And there's games in it as well. Hey, that is awesome. 1.20. 1.20? Or do I want... Oh, hang on. So do I want OS... Would a switch set to... Hang on. What am I doing? What am I doing? So I'm at 1.20. Right. So if we just power off again... Okay, so power off again. So again, the switch is a bit blind in a minute. So that's one way. Switched all the way the other way. Holding down R again. CMOS reset. Press brake to continue. And what happens now? Hey! Oh, look at that. Right. And then this is... Ah, there we go. MOS 3.50. View, Advanced DFS, ADFS, Basic, Ethernet, DFS, and what's this? So F, control brake, F, control brake. There we go. And it's actually done all that. I think you told me this, didn't you? That it does all the. If I go to ST dot status, it does all the setup. Oh, press shift to scroll. Yes. Do you know what? Amazing the things you forget. I knew that. I didn't know that. And it set that all up for me. Ah, so I'm with my team. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. It just looks a bit weird where it just says Acorn MOS there. But yeah. All right, there we go. Oh, ROMs, of course. I knew that. I was going to type. I was going to type ROMs. Nope, hang on. ROMs, yeah. Yeah, and that's all set up as well, which is superb. So, master MMFS, excellent. So, assuming if I call, it won't like this, if I call card, there it is. Master MMFS. I'm just trying to think if I got a card handy, we could actually plug in and see if it works. Let's have a quick look in my BBC fixings. That's not the right one. I might be back in my other box actually. Quick look in here. So that's my cap kits. That's the power slide that broke. There is an older style, old style EMMs. No, I can't remember what these are called. Not EMMCs, but MMFS type. That might work. I have actually got some. That might work. There's a much nicer solution now. There's a micro SD card which is probably in one of the Model Bs actually, which is probably why it's not here. But so you got this, and then this is the cable that runs to the user port. So we just zoom out, try and put everything back on the straight again. Just bear with me. So machine powered down. Well, I remember, let's put the Ethernet or Ethernet card back in. So that goes in. That goes in like that. And this pit socket's already here. Now this has already been tested. It was tested 2 years ago and it works. So that's the card back. Yeah, this is superb. This just instantly brings this machine back to life, which is absolutely superb. There we go. And I just want to see if this works. So in the chat at the moment, Richard is just going through the version numbers. So, okay, yeah. Version 3.20 is the original master. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just going to take that out because I'm going to break the machine. Unfortunately, I can't really show you this, but I'm just going to plug this into... I'm just curious if it works. Right. So, I say SD card. This is those really old MMC type, turbo MMC type systems. You used to have a separate EEPROM for. So let's just see if this works. So let's just put... Make sure we're back into the correct one. Right. Okay. Cool. Card. Okay. Shift brake. Card. Not happy. Not happy. Maybe it's not compatible. It's an old one. I'll accept that. I've got 2 of these. Perhaps doesn't like this, which would be a shame. Deboot 0. Oops. No, not happy. Okay. I don't know. It's not the newest one. The newer one I've got is somewhere. Use a turbo MMC ROMs. I do have one of those. Again, a separate EEPROM. Okay. Interesting then. Not to worry. That's cool. That's very, very cool, actually. So I'll look at ROMs again. Yeah. Yeah, very, very cool. And lots of space for other things if I wanted to put them in, which is brilliant. Yeah, I know Turbo. Yeah, it's just in Turbo MC, which is what this card needed, is old. I mean, the cards are old, so I mean that one was out of use. I was just seeing if just on the off chance it actually worked, but not to worry, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm just thinking now. What I will want to do just for the moment is I'm going to pull back and put my little jumper back in, because I'm going to put my NULA EEPROM back in. Without bending it. There we go. That's going to sit in there for the time being. Richard's saying flip back to 120 and load snap. I did notice that. So 120 is all the way back. So I'm just turning that switch all the way back. Probably should put the sound back in. That might help. In the middle socket, you say? Middle socket? Really? In the middle socket? Okay. Oh, doesn't it? Oh, I thought it took both of them. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it took both of them out. So, no, sorry. If you're listening to this or not seeing the chat, this is not going to make a lot of sense. So, Rich just said that. Okay, right. So I'm going to try and formulate this into words that make sense. Okay, so I thought wrongly. I don't know why I thought this, but wrongly. Okay, so you've got two switches here. I thought the top switch knocked out both of these, but actually it doesn't. So you're saying if we put that back, so it doesn't knock the top one out because that's needed for the operating system. That one's out of action now because we're using bank ROM, RAM, whatever you want to call it. You're now saying this middle one, if I go in here, you're saying that will actually still be valid. Right. Switch is back, switch back on. Yeah, it is booting as a Model B, isn't it? And the middle is bank 8. That is weird. Seeing a master boot as that's going to throw. How many people is that going to throw? Oh, look at that. Snapper, hopper. And there's my video NULA in slot 8. So if I go star snapper. Oh wow, look at that, is superb. Look at that. How superb is that? Press any key to start. I'll tell you what, I did forget to put my sound back in though. So Snapper, for those of you that don't know, is a very blatant copy. It's not even licensed. It's a copy of Pac-Man for the one of the original Pac-Man releases for the BBC Micro. Of course, I'm actually playing with a slight lag delay, which is slightly problematic. So we get a really nice crisp image, but I'm actually looking at this behind, or it's like a frame delay, so I'm actually, yeah, it means I am missing stuff. Anyway, right, that is superb. How superb is that? Right, I'm just going to break that a minute because I'm just conscious of the time. I might want to finish a little bit earlier this evening, but before we do, I just want to catch up on something which we were trying to do last time we were together, and I couldn't find the damn BNC. And while we've got this machine, it's a good time to look at it. Right, so on the back of BBC Micros, you've got this annoying BNC socket, and you need an adapter, and the adapter converts it to RCA, right? Now, I've been using this box here tonight, and that's fine. It'll give you a really beautiful, crisp image that you've been seeing in the stream, but it does have a delay, a noticeable delay, and that can make playing games awkward. Another solution is to use one of these, which are very, very cheap AV to HDMI converter boxes. So I've got here RCA lead. I'm just going to take the video out. I won't take the audio out. I could take the audio, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I've got here an RCA. Actually, it says that I do have the audio here. So do you know what? Sod it. Let's do the audio as well. So I'll just put the audio mono on one channel. Okay, so audio goes into the RCA jack. I assume it was RCA. Is it not RCA on it? No, it is RCA. It's just extremely... Oh, blimey. I don't think it's ever been in that. Right. RCA audio. Video into the BNC converter. Like so. Okay. Right. Now, this then needs power, 5 volts power from, sort of twisting itself, from USB. So I'm just going to untwist it. There we go. Right. That's going to go off just, I've got on like a bench supply. So that's now powered up. That's got power. Okay. Just on the subject of snapper, this is Paulo B saying, actually, I have a turbo MMC. Yes, it is on the turbo MMC snapper. Very good call, change of the programs. Yeah, device is quite fiddly. Yeah, no, these are, they're all right, but they're not as efficient as just using USB stick or Gocart, which is kind of where I've gone basically for my needs when I'm not using floppy disks. So anyway, right. So I'm going to go back to the capture. So that is the capture on through the HD converter box that we've been using all night. Let's go back to snapper. If I can't even spell it right. Okay. That's the image. I'm now going to do something a bit crass, which is I'm just going to pull out the cable. And I'm going to put the cable into this box. Now it turns the black and white because this doesn't have the colour mod, which the other machine had on it. There is a way of doing it, but it's not as simple. So in this mode, it is literally a black and white signal. The quality isn't as good. So if we now go start, I can barely see what I'm doing. So it's actually now, there's no real lag. And it works, and it is perfectly acceptable. But I can't really make out the colours there at all. We still haven't got any of the sound working, but this might be a slightly bad example. What else have we got on here? So there is a distinctive quality. Not C. That's not what I want. No. ROMs. There we go. The hopper, which I'm assuming is hopper. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I could mod this to colour if I wanted. So yeah, it means I can play and capture the games without the lag, which is great. But the quality loss, is noticeable over the RGB. I'm just looking to chat with Paulio saying Pac-Man in night mode. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a particularly vibrant image either. It's quite, the contrast is quite low, isn't it, really? And this is just doing a straight AV composite to 720p. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. 720p upscale, okay. I'm assuming being ROM, it won't save anything if I'm correct, but well, I do. That's just it, Richard. I do have an RGB to HDMI box. That's what that is. That's exactly what that is. But unfortunately, it just has a lag. So, I mean, if we go back, you know, the quality difference. Let's just load Hopper in again. Or you mean a proper box, not one of those? So I do that, right? If I take out of there, back into there. Yeah, I mean the difference is absolutely night and day. But unfortunately, it's it's playable, but there's just a little bit of a lag, so it doesn't make everything unplayable. But if it's sort of absolutely precision by the second, it can become a bit of a problem. But yeah, I mean, I can play that all right. Okay, I keep doing a stupid, which I should probably stop doing. There we go. But yeah, yeah, that's superb. That's absolutely superb. Yeah, I mean, seriously, Rich, I honestly cannot thank you enough, really. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. That really sorts out a big problem for me. This machine, then, it needs a bit of a clean, but as a machine, it's kind of, you know, it's ready to go. And it's ready for its outing to Bletchley Park in the summer, which is superb. I just need to clean up the front, really, the top needs a dust, bit of a clean, but that's all it needs, and we're good to go. So that's two from having no BBC Masters up and running. That's two up and running. I am actually thinking this one, I don't have the internal code pro, but I do have the external code pro, which Raspberry Pi Zero and a level shifter board, and that sits in there. This is one thing I did buy, actually, and it's mainly meant for the Model B, and this actually sits underneath in the tube interface. It just fits in a BBC Master. It's a tight fit, but it does mean I could actually fit this. Actually, do you know what? We could probably try that. Should we try that? Let's just take some of this stuff out a minute. Let's just try that. So, good God, that is tight on there. Blimey. Right. Okay. So, again, sorry you can't see this, but I'm just taking out this from out the Teba MMC out. And don't want to go in the disk drive, tube interface. And this, I mean, I say this, it just fits. At least I seem to remember it fitting. And I'm looking at it now going, that can't fit. It doesn't fit. Oh no, beg your pardon, wrong way. It still doesn't fit. I remember this fitting inside, and it was like stupidly tight, but it worked. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to try and show you. It's stupidly tight, but I remember that working. Why doesn't that now work? I swear to God, I've got this in here before. If you're just joining us, you have no idea what's going on, and I'm using words like that, you're probably thinking, what on earth is going on this stream? It will fit. I know it'll fit because I've fitted it before. I swear to God, I have. Oh, what on earth? Am I having a moment of being really, really stupid here? So this is the tube interface. Brian's just saying there is a Pi VGA. Yeah, I know there's a Pi. Is that the... There's a Pi RGB to HDMI solution. Is that separate to the HDMI that comes out the Pi Tube Direct modules? If you fit from the Raspberry Pi itself, because I have tried that, but it's not quite as useful as they make it out to be, because you have to sort of call it onto it. That's not going to fit. That's not going to fit. Probably if I slid the board back, I could actually get it in, but sorry, I'm just like, is that me being really, really stupid? If it's something I don't know about, then be very links above. What? Actually, I don't know. Can anyone actually post? I don't think anyone can post links in my chat, unfortunately. Because I think I've set it up a bit strong to stop spams and stuff, which I should probably take a risk actually and reduce that. But what are we searching? Just ask. Is there a way of searching for it? Is there a query we can search? What's it called? Is it just called Pi VGA, or do I know about this and I've just forgotten? I feel like now you're mentioning it, it's something I know about, and I've just sort of. It's amazing the stuff I've forgotten. Right, taking those screws out. Just going to move us back, the board back a little bit. Oh, careful not to lose that. So we've now got ourselves, again, apologies if you can just about see this one here. Wrong way. There we go. Right. Okay, that's now in. Will this actually now go back? Hang on, cable stuck. I swear to God this worked. Right, come on. Catching on something now. What are we catching on? It's not the Pi because that's in. Come on. Oh, there we go. Right, we're in. It probably won't work now. Let's just... crosshead. let's just put the one screw in here, just to hold it together. It's always weird how the mounting screws to secure the PCB, the main motherboard in, are actually sort of either side of the cartridge slot, which is just strange, but there we are. I'll put that back in so we can link the ground back up. Or the earth shielding or whatever that is. Right, that's him, that's him. Pick a video cable, any video cable. We'll go with... There we go. Okay. Still haven't plugged my speaker in, but never mind. Right. Break. Hang on. Do I need to... Is the... I might be in the wrong OS. Hang on. Let's just click through. There we go. And it does work. Excellent. Need to be in master mode. I know, I just realised what I've done. So, excellent. That does work. And we should be able to call it FX. Yeah, that's superb. Absolutely superb. FX151230.8 and should put us into Intel mode. It does. Brilliant. And that just fits in there. So I've now got both of them with CoPros on board. One has a video NULA and an Ethernet card, and the other doesn't. Still, that is absolutely superb. I'm blown away with that. That's superb. So again, thank you so much to Richard for the really kind donation. What I'll need to do now is just fit this sort of here and then get the sticker on the back, but I'll do that another time. Won't do that now. Now, as we're coming up to about 10 o'clock, that's probably a good time to probably call it for this evening. So we've had a relatively productive and slightly less chaotic evening. Damn sight better than we normally do. So a reminder that I'm not going to be back. I'm not here next week because I am at work next week on Saturday. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for another edition of 8 Till Late. Not entirely sure what we'll be doing. Possibly an Acorn thing. Although saying that, most of the Acorn stuff I want to do is now moving over to pre-record videos, which I've got more stuff coming up on the channel very shortly. Going to start doing an Acorn gaming series, hopefully on Channel 2. So if you haven't done already, do subscribe to Wi-Fi Sheep Channel 2. Links are in the description to the video. I'm just looking at what Rich is saying. So on the Switch, there's a black shaped washer, yes, which go over the side of the metal plate. I have noticed that. So again, I can see that. Thank you so much. Again, I keep saying thank you, but really I am really bowled away by that. Just quickly then, next week, as in the week coming up at work, we've got this year's run with the students. So for those who don't know, I'm a mechatronics technician and teaching assistant for Harper Adams University in the engineering department. And this week on Tuesday, we've actually got the second run of the Buggy Challenge. So you might remember on Channel 2, there's the Harper Adams Buggy Challenge, where students have to build an autonomous, intelligent robotic vehicle on a remote control car chassis, and it has to run an assault course, sort of a dirt track assault course. We're basically running that again for this year's students, and I'm actually going to be recording that for the university, and we'll have that on Channel 2 hopefully within a week. We'll see how far the edit goes. That's going to be a lot of fun to observe and record this week. I'm actually doing some teaching this week with another group of students, some solo teaching in engineering. We're doing Introduction to Architectures using the AVR Arduino architectures, again for autonomous systems, the module's called, for robotic buggy use. So that's going to be quite interesting. And then we're having a appointment only open day, which is why I'm having to work on the Saturday So I won't be here for that, which means, yeah, the next time we'll be back together will be in 2 weeks' time. So do keep across Wi-Fi Sheep social media for that. Once again, I'll just say, if you want to back me, you can join the, I've still got the blank, there we are. You can join me on patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep, like these brilliant people. And there's a couple of you missing off that list, which I apologise again for. I will get that sorted. I did attempt, I had it working earlier, and now I seem to have lost whatever that graphic was, has gone walkies. So apologies for that. The address there is patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep, and also available is YouTube channel members right here on YouTube. Just have to click the join button below this live stream /video. I'll just give this an opportunity to welcome everyone who has joined the channel. That's the wrong camera. Who has joined the channel in the past week or so. Thank you so much for your likes and subscribing to Wi-Fi Sheep, and welcome to the thing we try and do here on the main Wi-Fi Sheep Tech channel. Don't forget Wi-Fi Sheep channel 2, as I said, links in the description to the video. We're back in 2 weeks' time, as I said. So with the time coming up to just a few minutes to 10 here in the UK GMT time, we will call it a good night. So from me and Anna, who is downstairs and probably cooking tea right now, bless her, we'll say thank you so much for your company. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in a fortnight's time. Until then, a very good night.